Hey guys, welcome back. It's Maverick here today with another episode of Code Geass, R2 or Season 2. So, anyways, last episode we got caught up to the gist of things. Lelouch is now back in his rightful role as head of the Black Knights, or I guess you could say the first leader, or the supreme leader, whatever you want to call it, of the United States of Japan, his own nation, right? Beyond that, though, there's still a lot of mysteries and a lot of things that we need to catch up on. I guess would be more setting the tone for what's to come, right? And that includes stuff such as, the Black Knights' relations with the Chinese Union, like how did that come to be, and what are the plans there? Stuff like, stuff like school, right? And, as crazy as that sounds, what is going to happen to Lelouch's other life? Is he just going to drop everything and focus on leading a nation now? And what's their next step from there? And of course, the cliffhanger that we were left on in the last episode: who exactly is Roro, right? Why is he also a Geass user? What's his relationship with Lelouch? And I think that's pretty much all I'm going to touch on right now. We need answers right now, not questions. So let's just get right into the episode and see what's in store for us. Alright, let's begin in 3, 2, 1, play. Suzerain. It's not every day you see that kind of... Lelouch Lemperouge. That's kind of curious in a way that narrator, which I do believe is C2 by the way, calls him Lelouch Lemperouge and not Lelouch von Britannia. Did she always call him Lelouch Lemperouge? Maybe she always did, and I just kind of forgot about this. Knights. What are they called again? The Round Knights? The Rounds? I do find it kind of interesting that they are... Well, the fact that it's called the Holy Britannian Empire obviously means that it takes its roots from Great Britain, right? From the English Empire. Well, I guess it makes sense that, their customs are more Arthurian inspired, I guess you could say. Especially considering that they're using like knights and all that. But anyways, imprisonment at the account. Oh, so I guess we are going to take a look at the academy here. No. I do find it kind of funny that... What? Oh, or is that pre-recorded? What? Okay, that makes zero sense unless that was pre-recorded. Anyways, back to my original point. Now that I think about it, it's kind of ironic in a lot of ways, or funny in a lot of ways, that oh, it's C2? Okay. Yeah, yeah, that's okay. No, I mean, yeah, pre-recorded. Wow, so he is going to keep his identity in the academy? Really? Uh, Anyways, again, back to what I was saying. I think it's funny that they're declaring themselves a country inside another country's embassy. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, not only the student council, there's bound to be like more people in the academy that know about this, right? That knew of Nonali. So more people than just the student council had to have their memories changed. SIS. Alright. I figured as much. Nunali's probably back at the Empire. You can't use it again. Alright, I guess this is the European Union. Why are you here in the... I guess it's hard to define if this is the Eastern Front or the Western Front. Why are you in Europe right now fighting? And the games began. Who is Roro? Time stop. So just an area time stop, eh? Hmm. It just says Lelouch. Doesn't say 0. Callan, you are just... Oh. Prisoners? I feel like Lelouch probably predicted this though. Oh? So she was manipulated into approaching Lelouch for this? So that, yeah. Yeah, I wonder if Valletta set that up purposely. They're following him? So was this set up or not? Intriguing. Well, he did say Tsukiao, which is like, go out. So I guess Lelouch was going to, in turn, use them as his alibi in order to do something. That's what I would think anyways. Okay. At a communication store. This one they can. Poor Shirley. Yeah, but what can you do now for her? Yeah, I almost forgot about that actually, now that you mention it.
求に従わない場合、そちらに仕掛けた爆弾を爆発させる。
違う。ゼロのはずがない。
函館疎開よりお越しのマクシミリアン様。函館疎開よりお越しのマクシミリアン様。お電話が入っております。
ゼロの警戒。
きっと黒の騎士団よ。
ゼロが復活したし、声が大きい。お客様に気づかれる。
だって
表参道モールにプロの騎士団より爆破予告です。
配置は動かすな。 C2 の接触に備えろ。
Yeah, I think that actually having like a terrorist
条件はクリア。あとは点火ボタンだけ。10、9、8、7、6、5、4、3、2、1。黒の騎士団。テロ。なんだこれは。しまった。
なんだララ。離れないで。いない。
大将を見失いました。スコーピオンからの報告はどうしますか。
ロロは
治安維持のため携帯に緊急ジャミングが。中佐、スコーピオンからの報告は最優先では。
私が現場に向かう。
So what's your plan here?
兄さんの位置は誰もいない。
C2 を探しに行ったんだよ。
やっぱり目覚めていたの。
尾行者は俺の奴隷に絶対支配下に置かせてもらった。やはりお前たちは C2 の捕獲が最優
See,
先。
that's how you should do it with everybody.
この鳥かごみたいな学園は今から俺の自由の城になる。そしてお前はナナリーを探すための駒になってもらう。何？ギアス、時を止めた。
ルルーシュ、その悪魔の瞳と共に死ね。
大変ですゼロ。中華連邦が突然。黒の騎士団はここで滅びよ。
Okay. Well, that was certainly interesting. Alright, see you guys after this. And so that answers a lot of our questions, right? Like, particularly one of them is how exactly Lelouch is going to maintain his facade at the academy, and if we are still going to have, you know, that aspect of his life within the series. So I guess the answer to that is yes. You know, and they, you know, it's a pretty good reason as well. The fact that the emperor does have Nunnally hostage, and so he needs to still keep this facade up. Otherwise, he can't risk them being prisoners. The rest of the Black Knights or whatnot, he'll do his best, but Nunnally is on another level, right? So with that in mind, I think I think it's safe to say that we are going to be still seeing Lelouch live out his double life in the academy as a student, and all the other interesting stuff that goes along that as well, right? Including like school life, including flirting around, etc., etc. Speaking of flirting around, I do wonder, like, Callan's entire spiel in the I guess it was the last episode, right? Or is it or it's actually in episode 1, right? Being so unforgiving of, Lelouch and Zero, saying they're not one and the same and whatnot. You do have to wonder if that's kind of also stemming from her own sort of growing infatuation with, Zero and ultimately Lelouch as well. I think some aspects of that were let out in this episode, considering her dialogue with C2, and also the fact that she isn't as, she actually isn't as rejective or unaccepting of considering Zero and Lelouch to be one and the same, right? She calls him by Lelouch even privately and not Zero. So maybe it's just like her own pride or whatnot, something of that sort. But anyways, there's definitely a lot of girls around Lelouch that's falling for him, right? Although I do have this sneaking suspicion that the one and only would be C2? Question mark? I don't know. Hey, it could be. Well, actually, I have no idea if there's going to be any actual romance at the end of it. It seems that there would be. They wouldn't tease everything, with all these various relationships and then not have, something at the very end. Or, I guess, it is also possible to go the harem route, considering we are talking about, like, emperors and empires and whatnot. Although I don't think so. Nothing that I've heard of Code Geass up to this point has ever hinted a clue of that kind of romantic angle. So I guess we can put that aside for now, right? My money is on C2, by the way, if any of them is going to do it, because I think Shirley quite surely is out, pardon the pun, and Callan, I don't know, I just don't particularly see it. But yeah, anyways, beyond that though, so interesting ploy there as well in terms of pulling off the double. I was still kind of hesitant in terms of how Lelouch did this particular episode and this particular event. Like, you would think that it's way too suspicious, right? The fact that, the mall that Lelouch goes to just happens to be the target of a terrorist attack and whatnot. It's, like, way too suspicious. So, I'm not sure, like, how well that is going to hold up, but, we'll see how exactly the next episode is cleaned up, right? And all that. And he's got to have a lot of alibis in order to do stuff. Once again, I do like this sort of fighting against surveillance kind of setting here. It once again reminds me a little bit of Death Note and how in that series Light was trying to do all the things that he did whilst under 24/7 surveillance. It's always fun to look at the ingenious ideas that our protagonist comes up with to shake off their surveillance and do some, act like they're doing one thing when in reality they're doing something else. I will be enjoying a lot of that, I feel, in these upcoming episodes, considering that he is, his cover has already been blown, right? So he needs to be under constant surveillance and constant suspicion, and he still needs to run, an army and run a nation, quote-unquote nation, right? Speaking of such nation, is it still going to be standing in the next episode, considering that the Chinese Union have kind of sort of decided to kick them out, right? Although you do have to wonder if that's also another thing preordained. Maybe not necessarily a change of heart, but instead putting up another kind of show or act which will ultimately resolve this entire hostage situation, right? In fact, that's probably, all things considered, that's what I would guess at, especially since we don't really see anything in terms of... no, actually, would that be the case, though? Huh. Actually, now that I think about it, it might be an actual emergency, an actual crisis here, because both C2 and Callan seem to be kind of surprised by this. So unless Lelouch was able to do something in the midst of all of this without them knowing as well, this is certainly quite a dire situation, right? But again, ultimately, I think it still goes back to how exactly Lelouch gets himself out of this particular situation against Roro, and then we'll see what happens next. There's a few other things that caught my interest in this episode. One, of course, is the relationship with Shirley. In fact, I completely forgot about that part as well. The fact that Shirley's memories of Lelouch were actually replaced, and then now they actually were put back, right? So that actually also implies something. So there has to be someone on the Empire side that can reverse the effects of Geass, because otherwise I don't really think I don't think it's enough to just implant memories, because if that was the case, then how exactly would they keep Shirley's infatuation or crush on Lelouch, right? So what would be more... I guess it would be more of a combination of undoing the Geass and then also implanting new memories as well, unless the emperor or whatnot, they are actually deep enough that and have enough knowledge to even recreate Shirley's crush on Lelouch as well. Or maybe I'm just thinking way too much into it. I don't know. But with these kind of series, you always have to observe the little things to see if you can make out some details of the larger stuff, right? At least if the story is well written and there's not really too many plot holes or holes in the stuff that they do in terms of continuity and stuff like that. So that's also something interesting. We did see a glimpse of Suzaku as well. I have no idea why he has been sent to Europe to fight, and in fact no idea why he's willing to fight in Europe, considering that what he really cares about is the integration of the Japanese with the Britannians, right? And changing how Britannians do things. So does it really make sense for him to be off in another territory fighting right now? I don't really think so. But then again, he is the kind to always go on about honor and duty and all that, right? So considering he is part of the rounds or round knights now, he still has an obligation to carry out his duty, right? And it can't always all be about his own goal and whatnot. So I guess in that sense, I can kind of see why he has to do that, and earn his keep, so to speak. And yeah, I think that pretty much covers everything I want to talk about for this episode. Again, I have no idea how exactly Lelouch is going to get himself out of the situation in the next one and get out of the grip of Roro. But the only thing I'm banking on is the fact that Roro did not just kill him instantly while still in the time stop, but instead, it seems that he wants to talk things out, and he probably has some other second thoughts as well, based on his facial expressions throughout this particular episode. So yeah, that's it for episode 3 of Code Geass. Thank you guys. I will see you guys next time. Bye bye.